So today I want to talk to you about some topics related to freelancing that I see happen a lot. And I want to just give you some real talk about what happens and things that you can avoid. So I am not just running my design business, dealing with clients all the time. I also am seeing from another perspective, helping freelance designers with their own business, coaching them on a weekly basis. So in that way, I get this great picture of what works and what doesn't. So I want to take you through some points right now so that you can gain insight from my years of experience as a designer, working with clients, as well as working with other freelance designers and them starting their businesses from all different stages. So first off, there's something that is really a problem with ourselves when we're starting our own businesses, is that we can't get past the stage of creating our own brand. And that's something that has been really apparent many times when I see designers, they get to the stage where they're super excited to create their own branding and their own logo, and then they just stop and they don't want to continue. And I had this happen for me when I was doing it every stage. It was the hardest thing to design for myself. And the point is that, yeah, you got to do the research on who your ideal clients are, what's going to resonate with them, what's your brand personality. But after that point, you got to get out there and start testing it. Realize you can always perfect things and switch over time. But if you never start and never put yourself in front of the people you want to attract, then you're always going to stay behind your own screen and be just focusing on your logo forever. And you're going to regret it, because then you're never going to be able to test what's working and what's not. I have adjusted my own logo and my own messaging over time many times. At least at first, I actually started with Elise Designs. That was my freelance design business name. I then made it into Principium Studio. I then went to Principium 360, and then I went back to Principium Studio. So I've had different variations, and I've learned from every single one of them. Elise Designs taught me that it was more freelance-like, whereas Principium Studio, I could kind of step back, and if I didn't want to be working directly with clients, I could have somebody else working with them down the line if I wanted to. Like, for example, my husband is a business partner and he does the brand strategy. So because it's not Lauren or Elise Designs, which is Elise is my middle names, my husband is able to work with clients on the strategy, and I'm able to then take over for the identity. And they don't feel like they're missing out, because they know that this company is not just about me, it's a team. So that's something to think with when you're naming, by the way. You need to really think with, do you want to be known as just yourself forever? Or do you want to be thinking about expansion and adding more people to your team? It's really important in how you name it. But at the same time, that doesn't mean getting stuck. And again, I've seen designers get stuck on their logos and never move forward. And then when I have pushed them and they do move forward, then they get stuck on the website. So creating the website can be super simple. I have a lot of videos about that. You can check out this one about portfolio and fixing your portfolio. But I want to just give a point on this, is you just follow the simple template of having a call to action, really clear. Who are you trying to target? What's going to attract them? Have some case studies, and then testimonials, and move on. You can add to it as you create new projects, but you gotta have a base of a website before you can really start reaching out. I've seen people ask, hey, can I just have a Dribbble site? Hey, can I just have Instagram or Behance? And I really feel, and this is because I've never relied on any of those three platforms, and I've been able to have successfully consistent clients. You need to have a base. You need to have a place where people can see your work. It's trustworthy. It gives you a platform to stand on. So don't rely on Dribbble, Behance, or Instagram. Use them as ways and avenues to reach clients and get them into your world. So another thing that happens and comes up a lot is that designers don't know where to go, what content to put out, and trying to be on everything and be everything. So you've heard me talk a lot about this, but I want you to just think about this, and is something I just ran into with a student recently that I was coaching, is she was trying to be on branding and web design and trying to figure out kind of the different nuances of both. But she was dabbling in both and was really actually scared of what would come if she were to actually work with a client. Now, you gotta have a confidence. You gotta know your skills and be able to stand in that and know that you're gonna be able to go talk to clients about your skills and marry what you do to what they need. Connect the dots for them, right? So the problem is when you don't feel confident, they're gonna feel that. When you're talking to clients in a conversation, when you're putting together a proposal, you gotta know inside and out your services. So start with one. Start with what you know really, really well. Is it web design? Great. If you don't feel confident in web design, go take a course. Go get the in-depth understanding, because you're gonna regret it if you get into a client conversation and they're asking you technical questions and you don't know. Same thing with branding. If you've never done a brand identity before, go do a course, go take some training, go watch a YouTube video and practice. You have to, as a service provider, be a professional. And being a professional means not just kind of being good at a few things. Be great at one thing. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to exude that confidence, and then you're going to be able to go and get the right clients. Now, when you get to getting clients, here's the problem. And I added a whole training on this in my coaching program because I saw the expectations so low for designers, for freelance designers. They would go and they would write in one email and they wouldn't get a response. And then they'd say, oh, my business isn't working. It's a failure. And then they would just stop. And then I'd check back in with them and they'd say, yeah, I don't know that this freelance thing is for me anymore. Now, this is so sad and heartbreaking to me because I know they have potential, but they don't try. They don't go past that initial stage. So I actually have it so that they do now 100 challenge. That's going in, reaching out to 100 potential clients and tracking what stage of the cycle is it working or is it not. So how are your emails? How are you approaching them? How many times are you reaching out to them? And then when they do agree to get on a call with you, how is your call? How is the closing rate? What point of the call is a problem? Are you able to talk about your services and are they excited about working with you? Then do you fumble when you get to the budget and talking about pricing? Do you even bring up pricing, or do you just wait until the proposal stage? There's so many different components you got to think with. And that's why I have a whole coaching program on this, because I see that there's a lot of points that need to be coached. Like, for example, another student of mine, he's gotten to the point where he is fantastic at reaching out to clients and getting them interested in his services and getting them on the phone. He's gotten tons of inquiries through his website. He has his branding set up. He feels really confident in the services he can provide. But when he gets to the stage of talking about budget and closing, he can clam up a bit. So that's where I am helping and coaching him on that point, because you have to see you're not going to be bad at everything and you're not going to be great at everything at first, but you have to figure out where are your strengths and keep those, and then just perfect those points that are not working. Don't assume because you post one thing on Instagram and nobody gets it that you're a failure. Don't assume because you write one email and maybe that person, maybe they read it once and then they forgot about answering it. Maybe that's why follow-up is really important. And I had mentioned in an earlier video, I think I posted last week, that 7 points of contact. You have to think with 7 times. So if somebody follows you on Instagram, you post, they see a post, then you reach out to them, you thank them for following, and then they see another post. Maybe they get on your email list, they see an email. It takes about 7 points of that contact for them to really remember you and start to maybe even reach out and become a client. So don't get stopped because at that first few times of reaching out to people, it doesn't work. You have to have this momentum at the beginning where you are on this full-blown task that you are going to get in front of as many of your ideal clients as possible. And it's an uphill climb at first, But once you get through that and you get some people responding and you get some people reaching out, and then you start building your own confidence, it snowballs. You then go and actually start creating content that is gonna be found. Use the power of SEO. I now teach so much about SEO because that is a powerful thing that works for you even months and years after, whereas an Instagram post doesn't. SEO helps you be found on your website, which is another reason you don't want to just rely on Dribbble or Behance. So these are some components I wanted to talk to you about. Freelancing is a massive subject in itself, and there's so many different components. That's why I took my whole program from 4 modules, I divided it into 8 modules. I made it so it's a lot more bite-sized. So I understand freelancing. It's not what maybe you expected at first. Maybe you thought you'd be able to work whenever you wanted, and then you're glued to your computer working with $200 projects all the time. Maybe you want to be going and having holidays and actually take time off and be with family and friends. And I understand the frustration of not being able to do that. But I do also know that you can get to that point because I've seen it in myself. I've seen it with other designers. You just have to perfect these different points of your freelance business. So I would love to go more in depth with you. I have a whole live training. The last time I'm doing it is tomorrow. I've already done 2, and I had some great results and successes from those who attended. So I would love to educate you on, and if you come to that free training, it's tomorrow. So that's the last time I'm doing it for many, many months. So please make sure you do come to that. And any questions you have, please put them in the comments below. I always look at my comments. I really appreciate any insights you have, anything that you want to add or would like to ask, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you with your freelance business and becoming a graphic designer as your full-time career. So thank you very much for being here. As always, keep creating.